Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, September 19, 2012. A big explosion at a Mexican gas facility just south of the Texas border near the Mexican city of Reynosa yesterday killed 26 maintenance workers. The plant was owned by Petróleos Mexicanos, or Pemex, the country's state-owned company. They said that the explosion was the result of a gas leak that then led to a fire that then led to the blast. The 26 men killed saw 4 of them being Pemex employees. The other 22 were contract workers. No evidence of sabotage or terrorism whatsoever. The Chinese Commerce Ministry, in an article that appeared today in the Communist Party newspaper, the Chinese Daily, said that the country should consider using its power as Japan's biggest creditor. They have $230 billion of bonds, to, quote, impose sanctions on Japan in the most effective manner and bring Tokyo's festering fiscal crisis to a head. The article called on China to invoke the so-called security exception in the World Trade Organization articles to punish Japan, rejecting arguments that a trade war between the two Pacific giants would be mutually destructive. It would only harm Japan. Separately, the Hong Kong Economic Journal reported that China is drawing up plans to cut off Japan's access of rare earth metals needed for its high-tech industry. Protests continued to erupt yesterday in 85 cities across China, forcing Japanese companies to shutter factories and suspend operations. Also today, China's leader in waiting, Xi Jinping, said that Japan should rein in its behavior and stop undermining Chinese sovereignty. He also said that Tokyo's purchase of the islands, this is the part of the disputed archipelagos in the East China Sea. Last week, Tokyo purchased 3 of the islands from a family that owned them. Mr. Xi said that Tokyo's purchase of those islands from the private owners last week was a farce. Fitch Ratings threatened to downgrade a clutch of Japanese exporters if this clash drags on. It warned that Nissan is heavily at risk with 26% of its global car sales coming from China. Honda sees 20% coming from China, and Panasonic also has major exposure. The American Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, is in Beijing on other business, and he called for restraint on both sides. Wall Street Journal is reporting this morning that federal aviation regulators are worried about potentially dangerous cracks on all Boeing 737s. They took action yesterday at ratcheting up airline inspections of more than 1,600 of the most popular planes in the American fleet. The FAA indicated that the moves were prompted by concerns that undetected fuselage or bulkhead cracks, potentially affecting all 737 models, could result in hazardous rapid decompressions. There was an incident in 2009 when a Southwest Airlines 737-200 series, an old plane going from Baltimore to Nashville, ended up with a 3-foot crack in the fuselage, causing a rapid decompression and emergency landing. Now, 4 separate proposed inspection mandates covering later series of 737s have been put in place. Boeing had no comment. Entergy Corporation, which supplies electricity and utilities down in the Mississippi Delta area, said today that damage from Hurricane Isaac would cost its utilities between $400 and $500 million. Isaac struck the Louisiana coast in late August with 80-mile-per-hour winds, and it hung around and lingered there for more than 2 days, leaving parts of Louisiana flooded. Entergy, which supplies electricity to about 3 million customers in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Arkansas, said that about 790,000 customers were without power at the worst point in the storm, making it Isaac the 4th worst storm in Entergy's history. Hurricane Katrina saw 1.1 million out, Gustav in 2008, 964,000 out, and Hurricane Rita in 2005 with 800,000 out. 4,500 electric poles have been destroyed, as well as 2,000 transformer boxes. The rating agency Moody's has downgraded the insurer financial strength of one of the big Lloyd's operations, Amlin. They knocked it down to A2 from A1. Moody's said that Amlin's reported catastrophe losses in 2011 were 29% of equity, and they said that was outsized in relation to most of its peers. They also noted that although Amlin had meaningfully increased its retrocession protection, i.e. it's purchased more reinsurance, that they still seem to have a sizable risk appetite and are still underwriting heavily. No word from Hamlin. Striking workers at the South African Lonmin Platinum mine say they will return to work tomorrow. They've accepted a pay increase of 22%, ending the wage strike, which began on August 10th, that have seen more than 45 people killed. The strike had spread to other platinum and gold mines in South Africa, raising concerns that the industrial action would dent the economy. Now, here's good news for Bermuda. The government has welcomed the decision of the reinsurance company QBE, the Australian outfit, to relocate the offices of its captive insurance company from Dublin to Bermuda. The company is named Equator Re. QBE is one of the top 20 reinsurers globally. It had a pretty small presence in Bermuda for years, but apparently now what they've decided to do is that the tax and regulatory climate in Bermuda, in fact, is better than that in Ireland, and they're moving the company into Bermuda. The Bermuda government said that they're humbled that QBE has chosen to re-domicile this company here. They also noted that even though economic conditions in Bermuda remain tough, that the QBE decision and a recent statement from Fitch Ratings that backed Bermuda's regulatory regime was testimony to the fact that Bermuda remains a strong place to do business. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.